Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Missing Gear.
We had a busy week. We had a lot of racing. Speed weeks. Weeks? I mean, it kind of went down to a week. Weeks? Yeah. Whatever you want to say. Week. Whatever.
Well, hey, they're at Daytona next week, right?
Speed weeks!
Speed weeks!
Hey, speed weeks. Let's start qualifying quick. Just a little recap. Willie B, Alex Bowman, front row. Not surprised. Hendrick always comes out strong in Daytona 500 qualifying.
Big time.
Dave Reagan and Ryan Preece made it on time of the two open cars.
Hallelujah. We're going to get into some Ryan Preece talk today.
We will. Not a big showing from the Fords, but nothing big to qualify, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Get to the duels.
Ooh, the duels. First
duel. A lot of side-by-side racing. I'd say pretty much the whole race. It was side-by-side until about lap 23-ish. And then it went single file, and then there were pit stops, and then it was good race, clean race. One thing I took out of that race was just how fast they could go from single file to pack racing. I mean, one lap, they were all single file, and then boom, they were all side-by-side. It was impeccable how fast they could do that. Mm-hmm. And Eric Almirola ended up winning the first duel. I know, one of our favorite drivers on the show. But
at least he won something.
He did, and you know what? I'm happy for the guy. Duel 2, a little bit more interesting. Two cautions. Garrett Smithley and Brad Kay had a little altercation. I think you can't blame Garrett Smithley at all for trying to race his way in. They were, I think, going out of the tri-oval. Garrett Smithley had a good run, threw it 3 wide in the middle. I think Brad came up on him, and I think Brad caused the wreck. I don't think Brad knew he was there, and he
happens.
Plain
Super
and simple,
speedway.
He caused the wreck. And I know a lot of people are gonna hate on Garrett Smithley for it because he's a lower tier driver, but
bottom feeder,
yeah. But I think it was Brad's fault. Out of that, William Byron had to go to a backup car and lost his spot at the front row because he got involved in the accident. And Kaz Gralla made it into the 500 based off of speed. And so did Austin Cindric in Duel 1. I forgot to mention that.
I feel like all the right people made it.
I think so. I think the one topic and rule that I don't like is that the rule was if you finish ahead of the driver that made it into the 500. So, for example, Ryan Preece made his way into the 500 on time. Okay, so Ty Dillon, Austin Cindric, and who was the last one in the first duel? I don't remember. All had to had to be ahead of Ryan Preece in order to make it into the 500, or Austin Cindric was going to make it in because he had the best lap time. And personally, I didn't like that rule because I think that you should race your way in, and Ty Dillon raced his way in, or didn't race his way in, but he was, I think, 6th or 7th in the duel. And Austin Cindric had a speeding penalty because of in the Cup they're on a digital dash, and they don't in Xfinity, and I think that caused him a speeding penalty. But in the end, I think Ty Dillon should have been in the 500 because he raced harder and had a better finishing position.
Well, yeah, Matt, but also just counterpoint that I guess go against yours. Fuck Ty Dillon. I don't like him.
I like Ty Dillon more than Austin Dillon.
His last name is spelt wrong, and he got to drive the 23 before Bubba. Fuck Ty Dillon.
Boy, I don't think those are good points, but
don't let the
whatever, Dylan.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Whatever, Dylan.
See you next week, maybe. Oh yeah, you don't really have a ride.
I think Ty Dillon should have been in over Austin Cindric, in my opinion. But.
Well, I don't think he would have made much of a difference in our next conversation that we're going to have. How about that 500, Matt?
Man.
How about that 500?
Phenomenal race.
It was great and kind of awful at the same time. It
was.
It was the full spectrum of NASCAR super speedway racing.
It was.
You have
hype. You have all the hype in the world.
Awful Florida weather.
True.
I feel like there's always a delay. There's way too many delays whenever we go to Florida. Sucks. God, was it a good start and finish. And then, it was interesting. Middle of the race. Loved how it was prime time. Loved how it didn't get delayed all the way until today when we're recording this, because then I would have missed it because I had to work.
I agree with you on that. It was all around a good race. And I'll give you some recap here. Right away in the beginning, lap 3, Derek Hope ran her into the wall. Caution. And I thought, wow, that was quick. And then the big one, early, lap 14.
Well, we thought that one was wow. But, yeah, that was... It was...
Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, Eric Almirola, Eric Jones, Ryan Newman, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick, David Reagan, Matt DiBenedetto, Chris Buescher, Jamie McMurray, Anthony Alfredo, Daniel Suarez were all involved in the wreck.
Carnage.
Absolute carnage. Now, about half of them were able to continue. Jamie McMurray continued. Chris Buescher, I don't think, did.
Michael McDowell was caught up in that first wreck. It wasn't bad.
Oh, I get it. It must not have been bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But
MTJ continued. William Byron continued. Kurt Busch continued. Tyler Reddick. Did you see Tyler Reddick's car?
Tyler Reddick's car
bad.
was fucking awesome.
It was hilarious.
I hope that ends up in a museum.
I hope so too. And the preference how bad Tyler Reddick's car was. Like half the car just wasn't there. I don't know what other way to say it. All the bones were there, but you could see the tire, the engine, the whole shebang.
You know where sponsors pay to get put on a car?
Not available.
Those were all the parts that were missing.
All of them. Pretty much all of them.
It looked like a lawnmower.
Yeah. So, out of that big wreck, whose fault was it? Hard Racing? Eric Almirola? Christopher Bell? Kyle Busch even?
See, now, from what I remember of it, and we're doing this the day after, I think Kyle Busch got into the back of...
C-Bell?
C-Bell.
He did.
Yep.
I also then saw the telemetry of Christopher Bell, and he throttled off, and then he throttled back on and then spun him out.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be wrong easily. I don't know how accurate that telemetry is of the throttle, but Christopher Bell throttled off and then just gave her again, and then whoop, there he goes. Now, I don't think Eric Almirola knows how to take a push, because that's not the first time Eric Almirola has been spun out in the lead or being pushed. But that's neither here nor there. Point being, there was obviously a wreck. And then after the wreck, we have a 5-hour rain delay.
Oh my God, it was awful.
And I'll touch on that in a little bit, but after the rain delay, we come back. Like 12, 13 caution laps they ran until they went green. There were 29 cars left that were like in the race. There's 24 that were on the lead lap at lap 31. It was double file for a little bit, but then it was single file on lap 35, and then that basically went until the end of the stage, because a lot of guys realized that if they pit before they went green, they'll have enough gas so they don't have to stop. So they pretty much all pitted right before they went back green, got gas, they were good. There was some shuffling at the end for points, but ultimately Denny Hamlin, stage 1 winner again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, am I not surprised by that?
Yeah.
At this point,
I wanted
run
Priest,
away with it again.
I wanted Priest, he was in third. I wanted him so bad to drop underneath and then have like Austin Dillon push him to the front. It was the one time I really wanted Austin Dillon to do something. My boy Ryan Priest get a playoff point. I mean,
Ryan Priest second. I mean, those were great points for that non-charter team to make sure he keeps making the next races, which was great. Come back for stage 2, uneventful. Not a lot happened in stage 2.
This is the boring part of a super speedway race.
And this is the part where everybody knows we just got to make it to the next stage. And and that's what everybody's thinking. So single file racing. Survival. Let's just make it. Maybe we'll be there in the end for stage points. And, it's just part of it. I can't say... The stages helps, in my opinion, because they at least then have something to shoot for of like, all right, we're in stage 3, last race. Now
that's what happens during a 500-mile race.
But, I mean, yeah, I can't say I'm surprised, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. At the end of stage 2, a lot like last year. Denny Hamlin, stage winner, Kevin Harvick second.
Denny Daytona.
Wow, am I not surprised. Even that Kevin Harvick got second. So before I move on to stage 3, where all the action really happened.
Oh,
Fox had a Fox 6 bet. Did you participate in that, Dylan?
No, I didn't, but I kept thinking, maybe I should.
I did.
You did?
I did. Why not? What do I got to lose? I'll show you how. I'll tell you how I did. I generally, and I think weekly I'm gonna tell you how I do every week because I plan on doing this every week.
All right, new segment.
Yeah, new segment. How did Matt do on his betting? Right. So there were two different things you can enter. There's the NASCAR, just like a overall where everybody finishes thing, right? And that's what I did first. So you have 6 drivers and you pick like first to second, third to fourth where they're going to finish, right? So I had Chase Elliott first and second, and I had that right. I by the way, to preface this, I had 1 point on this one, and that was the only one I got right. Okay, I had Denny Hamlin finishing first or second. He finished 5th. Damn. Kyle Busch 14th, or I had him finishing 5th or 6th. He finished 14th, which actually wasn't a bad pick at the time because he was running like 5th the whole third stage.
He was part of the crash.
He was. I agree. This one I was way off. All right, Brad Keselowski. I had him 30th to 34th. I had him crashing.
You had my pick that far back?
I had him crashing out early. All right. Damn. Martin Truex Jr. 25th. I was close. I had him 26th to 29th. And then Joey Logano, it was kind of a shot in the dark. 17th to 19th, he finished 12th. So I got one. And then what I thought was interesting, it tells you who got them all right. So nobody got 6 for 6, and 16 people got 5 out of 6 right, and I'm just baffled. Wow. But then I also thought there were, almost about 1 million people that played.
Jeez.
So I was like, I got one right.
No one wanted to pick.
I got one.
Mac.
I got one right. Now there was 900,000 people that played, and I had an overall position of, I think, we were all tied for 991,000th place. Because 333,000 people got one right, which So
what you're trying to say is you should just be a professional bettor.
475,000 people got it wrong. Like, didn't get any right. I'm proud that I at least got one, all right?
Well, hey.
One. So, the next thing you could bet is it was Clint's Stage 2 contest. All right? So, here's where the categories that you could predict, right? By the end of Stage 2, how many cars will be eliminated? I had 15 plus. Now, you can still edit. I could edit this after the wreck. Because as long as it's not the Stage 2, you can. So I changed it. I originally was 3 to 5. And that was way wrong because at that point there were already 10 people out. So I was like, all right, I got to edit this to at least get a better chance. And I had 15 plus, and I was so upset because I think they were 14 or 13 out. Ooh. I was like, dang, I was so close. Okay, which driver will have gained the most positions in Stage 2? I don't honestly know how they count this, if it's like from the start of the stage to the end. They don't really tell me how. Mm-hmm. So I was shooting in the dark, and I said Chase Elliott. I had no idea. Or Kyle Busch. No, I said Kyle Busch. I'm sorry. And Chase Elliott got the most. I don't know how they figured that. They don't tell me at the start of the stage or qualifying position, or I have no idea. Just guessing. How many cautions will there be in Stage 2? I had 2. Now that's including the stage caution, which I didn't know at the time, but then found out while watching the race that was including the stage caution. So I got that. I got one right. That was the one I got right. Which manufacturer will win Stage 2? I said Ford, and it was Toyota. Yeah, I know. And which team will win Stage 2? I said Team Penske, and it was Joe Gibbs. So at that point, there's one more here, but at that point, I had which manufacturer I had. I think I had a Toyota, and then I had Stuart Haas, and I realized that's stupid betting because that's not going to work. The last one was which driver will have the best finishing position in Stage 2? I said Brad K, and it was Kevin Harvick. 45% of people picked Kevin Harvick, by the way, which I thought was impressive. So 249 people got all 6 right. I'm just impressed. I am really. Now, granted, it did help that half of the field was already out, so you only had a 50-50 shot at one of them, and there was one. The manufacturer, it was 33% in that one, so it did.
Plus, Stage 2, pick the big names.
Yeah, it helps. Now, I will preference that it's you get like 6 options in each one. Like for which driver will have the best finishing position, you have 6 drivers. You don't pick between all 40. So anyway, I'm going to do this every week. If it's out there, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to, every week, say how I did. And maybe any money I get will go towards the pod.
Ooh.
If I get anything. Unless it's 10 grand. I'm not putting 10 grand towards it.
Yeah, maybe just throw 3 in.
Some of it, right? Yeah. Some of it. So anyway.
All right, stage 3.
End of stage 2, we're on to stage 3 now.
Out of the blue into the black, or the flames.
The flames is right. That's a good way to put it.
The fiery hot orange. I thought Brad, died. When I saw that car, granted, it wasn't as bad as Newman.
Yeah.
But maybe we should talk more about what happened before the wreck.
What led up to that? So they were running single file. They had their pit strategies. I'm surprised Toyota went with just the Toyotas.
Yeah.
Strength in numbers, and they preached that. And the Fords went together, then the Toyotas, then the Chevys. And I thought, I thought the Toyotas were just going to link up with the Fords or the Chevys and say, well, we only got 4 drivers. We might as well just...
couple of random Chevys.
Whenever you see them go, we break. We go, right?
Yep, no.
No, they went, and it worked, and I'm shocked and just baffled that it worked. I truly am. It worked. In the end of the pit stops, they all got back together, back in a pack. That worked out unbelievably well for the Fords, and it really set themselves up towards the end of the race. And that, kind of looking back now, those pit stops and that pit strategy really propelled the Fords to be in the position they were at the end of the race. Because it got filtered out to single file for a while, and I think we all kind of knew they were going to just wait until, the last 10 laps. And I was genuinely surprised with how late the move came. And I was listening to Larry Mack's trends of, usually there's a caution last 10 laps. And I thought, for sure, caution, right? There, no way, it'll go green, white, checker, and I'm confident in that. And, boy, was I not confident because I was wrong.
Good thing you didn't have to take a bet on that.
Yeah, I would have definitely gotten that wrong. And I thought 3 to go for sure, right? For sure there's going to be moves.
I thought 3 to go was going to start.
I thought Denny make something happen in the back. I thought anybody back there, Chase, I don't know, anybody was going to just start poking their nothing. They go another lap. I thought, God, they can't wait any longer. This lap, for sure. Coming into turn 3 probably. Nothing. They just keep they just keep single file, and it gets to the white flag, and I'm like, oh my God, something has to happen here. We're on the white flag. I'm impressed we made it this far. And I saw a few laps before Brad was timing his run, and I could tell he was practicing with McDowell while they were racing. Okay, this is not pulling away and everything and practice and kind of getting an idea when he wants to go. And I saw him doing that earlier in the race too, and. He get to the backstretch and going into turn 3, and I knew he was going to throw a 3. I knew he was going to make a move, and Logano had to block. He had to at least try. If he doesn't, he's for sure lost, right?
Yep.
You lose regardless, or you at least throw a block, send in a prayer, and it might work, right? Who knows? I can't blame him. Well, then, Keselowski, I don't know what happened to Keselowski, because all of a sudden he just got loose big time and just. I knew Logano was going to wreck.
I think he got too big of a run, and then Logano moved, and it completely fucked him. And boom.
And then he went into the wall.
Yeah.
Flames.
It was just, they had too much momentum, and my God, the flames.
And then I see Michael McDowell running through, and I'm like, oh boy. And then I see Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott, and I'm thinking drag race to the finish. Because Denny Hamlin and Kevin are behind him. And I thought, all right, one of these 3 is going to win this race. There's no way it's going to be Kevin. I'm like, I doubt it'll be Kevin or Harvick, right? Or I'm sorry, Kevin or Denny. I checked Kevin Harvick, whatever. And they throw the caution, and looking back, I understand why NASCAR threw the caution, but at the same time, NASCAR is typically pretty good at letting them race it out.
Yeah.
To the line, at least, right? Even in super speedway races, they crash on turn 1, race it to the line, whatever. Great.
That was the entire front of the field crashed. The guys we're going to talk about having a good day essentially were in that crash.
Yeah, but I would have loved to see him race it to the line because I genuinely think it could Chase Elliott or Austin Dillon could have made like a shot and won the race because Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick were both pushing them. Like Michael McDowell was himself. I mean, Denny Hamlin got behind Chase Elliott and was going to push Chase Elliott, and Kevin Harvick was behind Austin Dillon, and the caution came out, and I was like, and at that point I genuinely didn't know who won because I didn't know when they threw it because all of a sudden it seemed like Chase was ahead or even Austin Dillon, and then Mike McDowell. And Michael McDowell beat him to the line, but I'm like, that doesn't matter because it depends at the time they threw the caution.
See, now Mike Joy said that like right away, like
it's not
whoever
official. It's whoever
at
the moment. Yeah, and I'm glad they threw that in there.
And then when he said that, I'm like, oh my god, Michael McDowell did it.
And I had a moment of I gotta see replay. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And the first replay I saw, because I thought they threw it earlier than they did. First replay I saw, I'm like, easy decision. Michael McDowell won. Unreal. And you just kind of sink in, like, wow, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But a lot of the comments and interviews afterwards with the other drivers, they're like, dude, he deserved this. I mean, he's been up there almost every super speedway race, racing his way.
Yep, he was another guy who we kind of put all our horses behind Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
But he's another guy who late in the season and even really throughout all of last season was hovering around that like 12th to 22nd spot.
Yeah.
And doing really, really well. And we were seeing basically Front Row Motorsports really surpass Roush, which
for sure.
I think they officially did now.
I think they did. They for sure did. And I don't like in the off-season the move of Front Row Motorsports. I wish they would have kept John Hunter Nemechek. I am a firm believer that was a good move for them.
I think John wanted to go, though.
And that could be, right? And maybe I don't know what their front office. I have no idea, right? It's sports that I don't know. It's just like NFL. You know, everybody wants Aaron Rodgers to stay in Green Bay, but who knows what anybody else actually wants? I don't know. Point being, I think
Tim Boyle can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay. I don't think they're as good as they could be, but I still have high hopes for Anthony Alfredo. I think he's still good. I think he's going to be just fine. They didn't put, I hate to say it, but no, maybe not him. They didn't put some washed up, really bad driver.
Yeah.
That is just looking to ride around
Ricky
in his
Stenhouse
older age.
6 years from now.
He hasn't won a race since 2017 Phoenix. Just kind of running around.
Wow. No, Ryan Newman would be lucky to run for Front Row.
Actually, yeah. Roush.
We're getting a little off topic.
Yeah. Still,
wow.
Overall, the race, phenomenal. It's not disappointing me. I have one other comment I want to hit on. I really want NASCAR to do a better job at being proactive with the weather. Now, what I mean by that is NASCAR, especially the last two Daytonas, and I know there's plenty of other races, right, that I could probably throw in here, but just specifically the Daytona, the biggest race that they advertise, they bring the biggest stars out, everything, right? I mean,
Great American Race.
The Great American Race. They, you know what, Dylan? I'll even go to say it. They put their nuts on the table for this race.
Nuts on the table.
They go all out. And NASCAR knows that it's going to rain. I mean, you have meteorologists, right? They can predict the weather. It's Florida. It's unpredictable, but you can still decently predict.
I think
right?
the Weather Channel predicts what happens. With the weather
right?
in Florida.
The news, right? They predict the weather. So I feel like NASCAR knows it's going to rain, and they say, you know what? We're going to keep our 2:30 start time, more like 3 after they get everything done, and we're just going to race from there and see how far we get, and then we'll figure it out. In the last 2 years, that's happened, and it's bothersome because I feel like if they just thought, okay, if it gets rain delay, we're gonna lose all of our viewers anyway, except the diehard ones, because obviously I went back and watched it because why wouldn't I? But the everyday, like my dad was texting me when the big one happened, and I know he turned the race off and didn't go back and rewatch it or watch the second half. I know he didn't care. He turned it off and said, it's raining, whatever, I'm done. And I lost a viewer. If you start the race, even
If you don't check on Twitter,
2
no one's
hours.
gonna start
2 hours beforehand. And just speed up some things, right? You know, just little things to just speed it up. Okay, great. Now the race is almost in. If it rains, okay, we're going to call it. Race is done. Everybody's happy. Or even they go and try to race the end of it. But at least the end user, or not user, the viewer, can at least watch 2/3 of the race and feel like they got a good race out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like NASCAR could be better with that. And I know, I don't know the logistics of it.
And
I don't know the
suck.
TV schedule. It's hard. You know, I don't know all that, right? I just feel like...
Because, I mean, Fox has a whole lineup later that Sunday that they had
of cartoons and news and everything, right? That got just pushed off. Whatever. I just feel like there could be something set in place to help move things or be more flexible with things. I mean, Florida's very different with weather. And last year is an exception because of COVID. The schedule got changes, but NASCAR does a good job planning their schedule around weather months, and I think they actually like do a decent job at that. Because I mean, last year they had Texas not in a good time, right? And I mean, it rained for 3 days, and the race was on a freaking Wednesday, right?
Clint Boyer led a race for 72 hours.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Yeah, a Texas race, right? And in the end, I mean that. Some things you can't do. I mean, they had to change it with COVID, but I can't honestly remember a Texas race that got rained out 3 days ever because the Texas races are usually in spring and fall, and it's usually. I mean, I guess I don't know the climates that well, but I've never had a problem with that.
Mm-hmm. Here's what I think that they should do. I think, and it's been one of my criticisms forever of the Daytona 500. I think they should just start it at 6. It should be prime time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because if it gets rained out and the rain lasts more than an hour and a half, 2 hours, have it go on Monday.
Right, you know a lot sooner that you're going to cancel the race. If you know, oh boy, it's going to rain for 2 hours, we're moving it to Monday, and then I don't have to sit there and wait 5 hours to know if the race is coming back.
Plus, you don't have an entire TV lineup that's now screwed over by some weather. Yeah. For a race, it's already prime time. It should be prime time.
It should be prime time. I agree. It's Daytona 500. It should be prime time.
I'm sure it's like the one race that's going to beat all the NBA ratings from whatever happened Sunday and will win the demographics for the night.
For sure. I think it should be. I'm not disagreeing with you. It should be prime time. I think that's a great point. I love it in prime time. Love it. Love seeing it in prime time. It's awesome. And I'll commend NASCAR for doing a good job with the Air Titans. They've definitely speed that process along.
And they had a million of them out there, too.
A lot of them. They did, right. And that's been great, right? I mean, they did dry the track, considering how big that track is, in a reasonable amount of time since it stopped raining. Great. Good on NASCAR. They did fix that a little bit. I don't know how much better that will ever get, right? Unless you build a freaking dome and then everybody dies from the exhaust fumes. But...
maybe they could do some more research into the vortex theory.
The vortex theory, you're right. You're right, the vortex theory.
Which I feel like, now they said there's no science behind it, just sheer belief.
Just sheer belief, yep.
But maybe at a smaller track that would actually be possible. I mean,
Bristol.
Daytona's just too big. Yeah, Bristol.
Bristol, it would work, right? Now, on a different note, this year in particular, NASCAR's running a lot more road courses, so if it rains, they'll throw in the road the rain tires and they'll run anyway. Fantastic. So
doesn't
even
fix
with
lightning,
that,
though.
It doesn't. But even with that, I mean, that's 4 more races theoretically that might not get rained out, which is great. I don't have to rewatch a race on a Monday morning or Monday afternoon when I'm trying to work, even though I'm going to watch the race. Let's be real, I'm watching the race. I digress. I just want to put that in there. I just really would love to see NASCAR do a better job with
NASCAR,
that.
you're listening.
In particular, let's move on to our picks. I don't think we talked about our picks yet. Not good day for us. Not a good day for us. I can't say we were going to do well. I can't. I mean, I got 1 point with my Ford pick, and you also got 1 point with your Ford pick. Yeah. So,
I gotta say, and maybe we're stepping on our winners and losers segment, but there is one big loser from this entire weekend, and it really breaks my heart. He was my pick, Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
Heartbreak Brad.
Again. Heartbreak Brad again.
He's not getting any younger, and he had it right in front of him.
Second spot, turn 3. You can't get better than that.
If he would have got a little better of a push, maybe he actually wins the fucking thing.
Maybe Michael McDowell didn't give him a good push because he wanted to win. I mean, Michael McDowell ended up winning the race. I don't even think we talked. Well, yeah, we did talk about that. I was like, I was just unreal.
We did, and I mean...
Oh, Michael McDowell. I'm happy for Farmer Motorsports, by the way. I just want to say I'm happy for Michael McDowell. Very good. I think I'm reiterating that. But our picks weren't that great. Austin Cindric ended up winning the Xfinity race. Ben Rhodes ended up winning the truck race. We don't pick on the truck race. But Austin Cindric starting off 2021 strong. Mm-hmm.
So
I think he's going to make a good run.
Let's just hop right into our winners and losers. Austin Cindric, out of the people that didn't win but we thought had good runs. Now, Austin did win the Xfinity, but I was really impressed by his Cup run.
I would agree. Yeah.
He wasn't messing up. He was if a couple things go wrong, somebody makes a run with him. Yeah. He was in the perfect position. We've seen it a million times. And he's only running part-time in Cup. I don't know.
Races maybe this year for Penske.
But, Chase Briscoe, another, he just got outshined by Cindric again.
I was underwhelmed with Briscoe's performance.
The best thing he did was go and get fast food in his fire suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Ross Chastain.
Yeah, and fucking Ross Chastain did that too, so it just...
He's not do so.
Poor guy. Christ, he was a better driver in Xfinity, but Cindric beat him in the race.
And Cindric has stuff to learn. They showed some times for his green flag pit stop, and his driver time wasn't good. Jeff Gordon, I think, did a bad job, and he's like, well, they had a problem with the fuel can. I'm like, Jeff Gordon, dude, he was only a tenth of a second slower because of his pit crew. Mm-hmm. He himself lost 6 seconds on pit road. Maybe not 6, maybe like 4, but the point is that he lost a lot of time on pit road.
Oh, yeah.
He himself with the driver. Oh, yeah. I think a big winner out of that race was Spire Motorsports.
They had a good run.
Corey LaJoie got top 10. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, obviously half the field crashed.
Jamie Mack?
Can't say I'm surprised. Jamie Mack, he got into that early incident on lap 14, and he still somehow was
surviving.
in the race. Yeah. Yep. I was shocked that he was still running.
Good health care.
With how bad his splitter was, though. I was shocked.
Yeah.
It's that health care, though.
It's that health care.
Advent Health.
They just kept stringing him along.
Barely. Just barely.
Oh, miracle of science. But yeah, they had a good run. They're definitely a winner. I think you brought up Gordon. Boyer was a big winner. I really enjoyed Boyer.
I was very happy.
Especially,
happy with Boyer.
The best part about Boyer was that boring second stage, single file. Having Boyer there to just be the good color guy was great.
Because Jeff Gordon's is definitely, suit, tie, professional. I love Mike Joy. He's just great play-by-play. He's the one keeping those two at bay, I would say. And Clint Boyer
he's our Al Michaels for football.
He is.
Yeah.
He really is. And Clint had some good moments. Compared to the road course, way better. And the duels, he got better. I think there's just more flow there and more comfortability of him being in the booth. I think
it'll take a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden, it will be insane. All of a sudden, I'm not showing up for the races.
I'm showing up for Listen to Clint Boyer. Absolutely.
It's where he belongs.
It's where he belongs. He didn't really show it out on the track.
Well, he did every couple of years just
1 or 2 races.
Yeah, keep those sponsors coming.
That was really it, and I agree. But I'm very happy with him in the booth.
Also,
I think Trackhouse had a great run out there too. Daniel Suarez had a lot of speed this week in that 99, and we did hear from Justin Marks and Pitbull. It's still kind of weird seeing Pitbull out there.
I gotta say, I'm putting Pitbull in the loser category.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. You were texting me about this.
I mean,
and you're just like, man, I hate Pitbull.
What? I fucking hate him. I hate him so much. I hate him. And then, did you notice his teeth too?
No.
On the broadcast.
What the hell is wrong?
I was
with
just
his
looking
teeth?
at his stupid teeth.
Why are you looking?
I don't
at
know
his teeth?
why, Matt. They just look weird. They just look weird. They look like some demented demon. I hate him. I hate him. And then he also looks shorter. I thought, well, at least this dude, what is he? He's like 6'1", 6'2". No, he's like fucking 5'7".
Yeah.
5'8".
Yeah, they were showing him. I'm like,
all right, shrimp.
He's smaller than I thought. It's also weird seeing him with a hat.
Yeah.
I'm just used to him.
And his fashion choices too. I mean, it wasn't mixing with NASCAR and his business partner either. It was and also like that fake influencer energy that he just
portrays. He just brings to the interview.
He
or
exudes
whatever.
it. It sickens me. I don't have any other way to say it. He disgusts me in every way, and I mean the only thing worse is if he would have sung the national anthem, which thankfully NASCAR didn't ask him to do, because he definitely would have agreed to that.
He would have done that. No, you're right. He would have done that.
Oh my God!
Glad. On a different note, we're talking about national. I'm glad to see Luke Combs out there. I didn't watch the performance, but
I didn't either.
I don't mind Luke Combs.
I didn't either, but he was out there. I hear people like him.
When I went 2 years ago, Jake Owen was there, and I like Jake Owen. Great guy.
Never even heard of him.
Jake Owen's a good guy. On a different note, let's go to Doghouse, Dylan. Let's go Doghouse. We really don't have a lot about the news, so I'm gonna roll the Doghouse.
All right.
Let's describe what the Doghouse is.
So the Doghouse is for the underachievers. They're for the dudes that aren't geniuses. They probably don't even deserve to be in like an advanced placement class. But they got a 3.0. But they're getting their grades are sliding. They're getting like a D+ in a couple of classes.
They're barely scraping by. Is the way I would put it.
They're me sophomore year. They could be so much better than how I was. Or I could have been so much better than I was, but I was a little too busy doing anything else.
Doing literally anything
besides, studying, trying, putting effort in.
They're the ones just barely passing, not doing a whole hell of a lot. And you know what gets them out of the Doghouse? That big A+. That big A that just
the W.
The dub, right? They need the dub. They need a win, and they need to get out of the Doghouse with a win. Or I will say, they need a win. They need a win or a very consistent performance.
They need to win, or they need an incredible effort. Because we took Boyer out right before he was going to get euthanized.
Yep.
I'll get to the euthanization right after this. But Boyer, during a road course where it's way slower, like the speeds are way slower, and there's a million turns both ways, Boyer's steering blew, and he still got a top 10, and he was in contention to win that race beforehand. But now, if we lose all faith in you, and we don't even think you're good enough for the Doghouse, we take you to the vet.
We euthanize you.
We euthanize you.
And we take you out the hard way.
Yeah. When you're euthanized, you never come back. You only get mentioned in past tense on the show from here on out. And even if your career continues, which it probably will for a little more, but usually, basically, when we euthanize you, we think that you as a competitor are just done. Yep. You're done forever. You're never coming back. We've been holding off putting Ryan Newman in there.
We have.
We just love that furry little guy too much to,
So
acknowledge that his hips are just completely blown and he can't stand.
So Austin Dillon got a win. Because he somehow still had a good performance at the 500, and it's enough to get him out of the Doghouse.
He had good
How
speed
much
weeks.
It pains me that we just put him in there after a whole season off. He's out.
An exhibition.
And I'm upset about it, but he's out.
Austin Dillon getting out, that there's always two an apprentice, and a master. Just like Star Wars with the Sith.
Right. There's 2.
There's never more than 2, never less. So when one comes out, we throw another in.
So now we need 2 people in there, Dylan. Austin Dillon's out. And we only started with 1. Because I said, we'll start with 1.
We have Kyle Larson in there. Kyle Larson's in there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
I thought you disagreed with me and you just said Austin Dillon last week.
So I did, but here's the thing, Matt. It's really hard defending him. So...
yeah, okay.
Like I said, he got a little too much of a punishment, but after a year off in NASCAR, maybe you should get stuck in the doghouse. Especially after the unceremonious way you went out. So
yeah. Okay.
I'm fine with Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson's in.
Coming in. Although I will say, just quick side note, we don't have to touch on it very long, but Kyle Larson had himself a strong run. For the most part at Daytona. I believe he got caught up in that wreck.
Yes, he did.
But
he did at the end.
It was a solid run.
10, I believe.
I'm confident he can get himself
2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, Homestead race.
That's
my pick.
The one to watch.
He's my pick. I'm picking him right now.
Yeah,
he's my pick, and we already know.
I mean, dude, I picked Keselowski like last fall.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it almost worked out too.
It did,
but in the worst way possible.
Back to the doghouse. We need an apprentice.
All right.
And I don't overly have one driver that I'm like, yes, I want him in there. But I have a few contenders.
Yeah, some contenders.
I do have some contenders.
Hit me.
I have... Well, okay. I was going to start off with Chris Buescher. And then I realized he'll be in there forever. There's no point.
He's a victim of Roush.
He really is.
Which Roush could be another loser from the Daytona 500 as well, because they sucked. For the limited time they were there.
Yeah. You know.
Throw Jack
I kind of am leaning towards Martin Truex Jr.
He did have a very underwhelming season last year. I mean, he got a lot of top 2s and 3s.
One win. He was decently consistent, but just solely based on speed weeks. Got in that early wreck.
He struggled.
He kind of just
he had the clash. He raced himself back, and then he just spun out at the end.
He had 2 opportunities. He messed up. He missed the front stretch chicane. His fault. He then spun out because he got too loose in the dirt. My pick is Martin Truex Jr. With knowing that he'll probably be out, and hopefully within the middle to end of the season, he'll probably get himself out. But I'm picking Martin Truex Jr. I think he's in a little bit of a slump.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 names. And now these are dudes who could meet their maker and get euthanized. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I mean, he could be in there for a long time, but just a shitty driver. Shitty. I don't like him. I am full Priest love. I hate that Ricky has a charter and Ryan Priest doesn't. It pains me. And then there's Ryan Newman, the other Roush.
I can't with the Ryan Newman, because I would say, yeah, let's put him in there, but he'll be in there forever. I think there's some drivers who we just have to say there's no way.
Okay, so like here's what happens.
You're already in a slump.
I want to euthanize him at the end of the year. I do. But I don't want him just fucking sitting in the doghouse and we have to keep throwing kibble in.
Yeah, I agree.
It's no fun. It's no fun. I'd rather just pick Denny Hamlin for not doing a 3-peat, and then
he goes and wins next week.
So at least we'll have room for another one, and then Denny will probably win before Kyle Larson, possibly.
Yeah,
maybe
possibly.
Not.
Possibly. He might win.
If Kyle Larson doesn't win Homestead, then Denny will probably win before. But then, we got some fun, and Kyle Larson is the master instead of the apprentice. But Ryan Newman, oh, God, he's just... The amount that he's on the TV for how irrelevant he is he still won the Daytona 500 this year without winning at all or being competitive. He ran like 15 laps.
Yeah.
And
right.
yep, oh, God. Otherwise, another name, I just scrolled across my screen, Ryan Blaney.
You know what? I was considering Blaney too.
I mean, he almost won the Clash.
He did.
And it wasn't really his fault considering it was more of a chase spin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, he got taken out. He was just a casualty.
However, no, I think Blaney's a great pick because he had an absolute ass of a playoff.
Yes.
And I think he's front runner.
He sure did.
He should be front runner. We forgot how awful of a playoff he had.
Matt, we forgot to put him in last year. When we had to take Kyle Busch out, we forgot to put him in.
Ryan Blaney's in.
Ryan Blaney is in.
Ryan Blaney is in the doghouse. Done. Ryan Blaney's in. Doghouse pick. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney. We'll see who gets out first.
And now, we've brought him up a couple times. And I just got to bring this up because we got to have a little Ryan Preece talk. Matt, I was throwing you a million texts about Ryan Preece. Like, it was...
a lot.
You know, when you just fall in love for no reason, and all of a sudden, like, your entire world is this one person, and it's like, dude, you've known her for, like, 7 hours. That was me with Ryan Preece this weekend.
I'll pause you right there. I'm going to backtrack. That's not accurate, because remember the Roval last year, and Ryan Preece was leading the race?
Yes.
You were on the same thing.
He could, yes.
Same thing.
Alex Bowman could not pass him. It was Ryan Preece led like 8 laps of the Roval in the playoff against a playoff driver. It was nuts. That's what has kind of led up to this whole Ryan Preece love. It's like being really good friends with a girl, and then you come back and you're both 14 like the next year, and you haven't seen her all summer, and she's matured. It was like that for me. But then that big wreck happened and the field shrunk. And then it's like, this is a Ryan Preece kind of race. And then the motherfucker went and he got a bunch of stage points. And right now I'm looking but it's showing Ryan Preece is 6 in the points, and he finished 6 in the race. He did pretty fucking awesome. Here's the thing though. He's pretty good at a road course, but if I had my nuts on the table prediction that he would win this year, I think he can leave Florida without a victory.
Think so?
I think if we get past Homestead and he doesn't have one, then it gets real hazy because, I mean...
You still got 3 super speedways, though.
He's decent at road courses, and he's got...
There's a lot of them.
He's got the 500 he's got the road course right there. And he's coming off of a good race at the 500. And,
could happen.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he didn't get to run the Clash, so he doesn't have
as much
experience
as the other drivers.
And then there's Homestead. And, I mean, we saw him run decent at some ovals last year. But then, you know, if he starts sliding in the points, which, I mean, no offense, Ryan Preece, he obviously will.
Slide in the points, yes.
And... you know, he doesn't have that charter, and he only has sponsorship for 24 of the 36, then I think it might be over. And I was going to tell you that on Sunday, but I already sent you, like, 30 snaps about this irrelevant driver.
If he... Was that Cauliflower only for the 500, or is that for the whole season?
Oh, so we have to talk about the Cauliflower situation, as it shall be named from here on out.
Why this got brought up was Dylan texted me. He had so much, I wouldn't say faith that Ryan Preece was going to win. I won't say that. But he said, and let me find the text, and let me read him quote for quote here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me pull him up, and let me just read the text.
But this is another reason why I hate Pitbull. He now employs Daniel Suarez, which I believe I also made a Cauliflower bet about Daniel Suarez. So,
hold on. Let's backtrack. You said, all right, I'll start from here. This was at 8:00. NASCAR Twitter saying they're going racing again. I said, fire up. Dylan said, I hate to be this douchebag, but this kind of race Austin Dillon could win. 10 cars are already going to be out of this race, you figure probably another 10, 15 years, considering how much of the race is left, and there's only 20 drivers that are going to finish. This is where drivers of his thrive.
Ilk thrive, yeah.
I honestly thought that was a typo.
No.
I'll be honest.
I didn't know ilk was spelt like that.
I didn't, yeah.
We're getting off topic.
Anyway,
Continue.
So I said yes. I think we'll see a surprise race winner this race, which I was right. I said, all right, half the drivers that have a chance are out. I will be upset if Denny wins again. And I only basically said that because I just wanted a different driver to win. And we did.
I was fine with the three-peat, though.
I wouldn't have been too upset.
Lord knows he's never won a championship.
He said, you don't want a three-peat? This is all he has. He's never going to win a championship. That's exactly what he just said. I said, I agree, but I'd be okay with a Ryan Preece dub. Heart, the people's champion. That's what Dylan said. I said, yes, sir. Then I said, Quinn Houff to get this dub. Then I said, if he wins the 500 before Brad Keselowski wins the 500, I will eat that head of cauliflower. I don't know.
I will eat a plain head of cauliflower.
I don't know where the hell this came from.
Without any condiments. And when I talk the head, I'm talking the green.
So was that in
around
reference to Quinn Houff or Ryan Preece? I guess I thought it was Ryan Preece.
So you said maybe Suarez will win with Pitbull. And I said, if that ever happens, I will eat an entire head of plain cauliflower in one sitting in front of a camera and put it on YouTube. And you said, I'll hold you to that. And then I said, yeah, I'll eat the cauliflower if Quinn Houff gets a Daytona 500 victory before Brad Keselowski. And that includes after Brad retires and Quinn Houff is still somehow
still racing. And he's still young. He's 23. He might be for a while.
I'll eat it. I'll eat it in front of a camera. And if Daniel Suarez ever fucking wins, I will too. And I'm happy to extend this bet.
Wins a 500 or wins a race in general?
If Daniel Suarez wins in general.
All right.
In a cup race.
Cup race. No, I'm saying cup race. I agree. Cup race.
I will eat.
You'll eat it.
A plain head of cauliflower in front of a camera in one sitting, and we will put it on our YouTube page.
I cannot wait for that to happen. I am full support of Trackhouse racing now.
It's just yet another reason why I hate Pitbull.
You don't like Pitbull. All right, yeah, you're right. All right. Digress. Let's move on now. This upcoming weekend is the Daytona Road Course, which Dylan did not know about until last week.
That was one of my rougher moments.
And now he knows. Daytona Road Course this week. We're tied. So, did you pick first last week, or did I pick first?
I picked first. Yep, because
I won.
You won, and since we're still tied, guess who goes to pick first again? This guy. So.
Whoa, why?
Because you were the last person to lead when you won last year, smart guy. We've been tied.
Bullshit, whatever.
Oh, fuck off. I let you pick first last year. Then you took Harvick, who was my pick.
Hey, I let you pick first this
Regular
year now.
Regular season champ, I know.
And now you can't hold that against me.
I know, and now I had to pick Harvick this year. When there's less 1.5s. So, I guess right off the bat, I'm going Cendric for the Xfinity.
Yeah,
just because.
I mean, honestly, that's
it's a safe pick.
It's an absolute great pick.
Briscoe's not in it anymore. This is the week. My manufacturer, I'm picking Chevy. You want to know why I'm picking Chevy?
I know why you're picking Chevy.
It's not for Chase Elliott.
It's for Ryan Preece.
I love you, buddy. For my team, I'm going Hendrick because of fucking Chase Elliott, man. I swear they do it all for him. That's
I read comments on Facebook, and they're like, nobody cared this much when Kyle Busch won. I'm like, do people not understand how, marketing works?
Okay, side tangent.
Here we go.
Here's how awful Kyle Busch is. Kyle Larson said the N-word last year at a NASCAR event. And that was his lowest point, like, just in life. And he was still more likable than Kyle Busch. And, dude, anyone would tell you that. Like, 100% he still pulled higher than Kyle Busch. So just...
All right. No, I'm not
fuck Kyle Busch. Right. You got me thinking about it.
You just got me thinking. All right. My Xfinity driver.
I still got to pick a cup, though.
Oh, I thought you said Chase Elliott.
No.
Oh, my bad.
I misunderstood. Kendrick because goddamn Chase Elliott's there.
I thought you were picking Chase Elliott.
But I'm going Ryan Blaney. We just threw him in the doghouse.
You're going Blaney, all right.
At some point, he's got to win a goddamn race. And then hopefully this is the year where it's more than one a year.
Boy, you left me a lot of good picks.
I know I did.
Damn. All right. Xfinity driver. I'm going Justin Allgaier. I don't know. I'm on a limb.
He's won at road courses. He's been good.
We saw him win at Road America.
If he's ever going to win a championship, this is the year. I mean,
could easily happen. I think it's going to be tough for Austin Cindric now to go back to back. But, boy, manufacturer. I'm gonna run with a Ford. I'm gonna run with the Ford again. Team. I'm going to go with Gibbs. I'm going to go all over the board here. I'm just going to kind of...
Diversification?
I'm going to diversify here. I'm going to go Gibbs. And my driver, I'm going to go Chase Elliott.
God damn it. Well, I mean...
The best I can do is 5. The worst I can do, obviously, is 0. But I can't... If Chase Elliott wins, the best I'm going to get out of that is 5.
Also, another thing that we should do, just to recap, since it is a new season... So for our picks, we pick the Cup driver, the Cup team, and the manufacturer that we think is going to win. And then we also pick one Xfinity driver, and if they win, that's an additional point.
Yep.
But you get 1 point for the Xfinity driver, you get 1 point for the manufacturer, you get 3 points if you pick whatever team wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get 5 if you pick the right Cup driver that wins.
And we picked last episode our overall season points winners.
Regular season, yep.
Yep, regular season points winners. Those yield... Are we still doing 25?
Yep. We're 25 do 25, so I mean, it's really helpful.
It
won't kill you, though, if you have a really good season.
Yeah, and also, then the playoffs, 1 point for every 16 driver we get right, 2 for 12,
3 for 8.
3 for 8, and 5 for 4. And we picked those before. We picked them after the round of... We picked them after the playoffs are set, but before they start the race.
Yeah, and we can touch on that when the playoffs happen.
So anyway, Dylan and I are right now tied with 1 point. We both picked Ford last week, and we'll see what we do this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, a lot. We didn't really touch pre-race on this real much, but all three major series are going to race there. I'm excited for that. Another week in Daytona. Love Daytona. I just love the track.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see because they had the Busch Clash there, so I think there'll be a lot of good feedback that those drivers that race there are going to have, and I think they're going to excel a little bit more than the others. I think that's going to be pretty evident. I mean, they had 35 extra laps there, and maybe know how to pull a move in the last chicane and not spin somebody out. Chase Elliott. And tires. I mean,
Ryan Blaney.
There's
get a little better.
You learn a lot out of that.
Chase doesn't spin you out.
You learn a lot out of that because Chase definitely had the best car, but Blaney had the fresher tires, so Blaney caught him. So did Kyle
Chase
Busch.
had more skill on these road courses.
For sure.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I mean, Blaney needed those tires to be competitive. I mean, Chase Elliott is a goddamn road course god.
Unbelievable how good he is on road course.
All right,
let's wrap it up. Thanks for listening, guys. Got Instagram now. Follow us on Instagram. I'm excited for that.
Missing Gear Podcast?
Missing Gear Podcast, absolutely.
Give us a like on Facebook also. Tell a friend to subscribe.
Absolutely.
Share a post. We're throwing memes up now. It's
Why
good
not?
time.
We're trying everything we can. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next week.
Catch you next week.